YouTube, back with another homestead questions. We've been getting quite a lot of these. So this question here for this week is how can my personal food supply and the global food supply be increased? I know that with shortages and with prices rising, people are very much concerned about food and where they're getting it from and potential problems down the road. So we've been getting this question quite a bit, and we've got some suggestions.
Absolutely. So my first suggestion is for those that are living in a city, because anyone living outside of the city typically is already doing their own food production or offsetting the costs in some manner. So in relation to people in the city, I would say the greatest thing that you could do right now is a community garden. Get a bunch of households that either share some land or have good backyards where everyone can pitch in and either plant the seeds, harvest the fruits and vegetables, or maintain the garden as it is. So depending on who you have in your community, I've seen them done from back home, where the garden is a substantial size, and what they do is they get the younger generation to typically go into the garden and plant, till up the soil and plant the seeds. And during the season as it's growing, there are a lot of retired people during the day when people are at work or in school that have nothing to do. And so what they will do is maintain the garden, either weed it or water it, take care of the bugs if needed. And then as harvest time comes in, everyone pitches in and divvies it up amongst each other.
I think, too, on that note, another suggestion would be to kind of form a group. If you think that it would be better for everyone to have their own separate garden, and you just kind of rotate as to who does what. Maybe one person does peppers, one person does beans, one person does peas,
Absolutely.
The other person does carrots, right? Depending on how many people you have, that could be a valid suggestion as well. Obviously you want to make sure that if you're doing it year over year that you're rotating your crops as need be, but that's another suggestion and could potentially give you more space if you've got a bunch of people who want to do something but don't necessarily have the room in their backyard to have a huge garden or have a space where they can have a huge garden.
Learn to do different gardening, like vertical gardening if you're in an apartment as well.
Or companion planting.
Companion planting, yeah, as well. That would be more in a larger garden. On another note is if you're looking for meat, find a local farmer around and look at going in with your neighbor or a friend or a relative on buying bulk meat. So say like a full cow, a full pig, whatever it might be, and you'll probably find a better price from them and a better quality of product than you would in a grocery store. And
yeah, you for sure will.
Because you're also going to get that relationship directly from the source, whereas the grocery store, you just walk in and you don't even know where that food came from. Yes,
which I think is a big concern for a lot of people these days, is not knowing where their food came from. So some solid suggestions. On a different sort of tactic with food, it's not necessarily about, and this is something that I personally have realized as well, it's not necessarily about making sure that you have enough food, but training your body to go longer periods without. So for us, part of our physical fitness routine and part of the lifestyle decisions that we've made is that we do intermittent fasting on a regular basis. For those who don't know what intermittent fasting is, it is simply not eating for a certain period of time. For us, it's 12 hours, and we do it through the evening so that it's not too hard on our bodies. So we just don't eat past a certain time at night, and then we don't eat until a certain time in the morning. And as you get into that, routine, your body needs less because you're training your body to use what it has given and use the stores that it has given.
You're also shrinking your belly too, so next time you eat, you'll feel fuller quicker.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. And And for food sources themselves, I know I've mentioned this in another video that we did the other week or the other day. I mentioned that making sure that you are able to have the homemade foods instead of all of the processed foods is really going to help you with that as well, with not feeling as hungry. Because if you're making something from scratch with ingredients that are either from the store or things that you've gotten on your own, you're not going to be as hungry because there's not all of the filler stuff that's in there. So the food is going to last you for longer. The quality of food is very important as to what you put in your body, for sure.
Absolutely. And understand eating certain types of food that have high fibers as well, so that you get the sensation of being full. So if you are hungry in the evening, because it does take your body some time to adjust, especially if you eat a lot of processed foods. Taking, say, a tablespoon of chia seeds. Chia seeds is high in fiber. It's also high in omegas. And what they do is when they go into your stomach is they swell up and give you the sensation of being full.
Because they take up more room.
Absolutely, exactly, absolutely. Yeah. And also with the intermittent fasting that we've both found, and that I found especially myself, is that the energy levels are substantially higher than if I was to be consistently full. So in the morning when I wake up, a glass of water, have my coffee, and then you have to still sit there without eating until the set amount of time. So you actually have a cleaner digestive tract as well.
Yes, yeah. And something else that helps with too is that you don't get cravings as much, right? If you don't feed your body that stuff, your body's not going to crave it. And now if we have cravings, it's for healthier foods or for homemade snack foods or munchies, if you want to call them that.
Especially when it comes to sugar too, right? Because everything has sugar. Especially like bread nowadays, you buy it in the store, it has sugar. Whereas when we eat homemade bread, the sensation of being full is there sooner and it lasts longer. And sugar also has been shown in studies where they light up the same parts of the brain as heroin does. So I'm sure if you're starting to reduce your sugar intake, you're going to have similar results as to if you're having heroin withdrawals. But I don't know, I was never much of a sugar guy.
I used to be addicted to caffeine, so that for me was really hard to get off of caffeine. I used to love like ice caps from Tim Hortons and stuff like that. And that was sugar, yes, but a lot of caffeine too. And so your body does go through a period of withdrawal and does go through a period of symptoms that are not necessarily the nicest. I had migraines and headaches and like aches and pains, and I felt nauseous all the time.
Drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. But it was worth it. Yeah, and drinking a lot of water definitely helped because you're flushing your system of all those toxins. So that's kind of our opinion on how the food supply or how your personal food supply can be increased. It's not just about trying to solve the food supply problem. It's also about how you choose to live a personal lifestyle and to train your body to be mentally or physically capable of handling whatever you throw its way. And that means living a healthy lifestyle inside and out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Take care.